Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all doing well as we transition into the colder and darker months. And on that note, I felt really called to share this video because I wanted to make a one-stop shop resource for you and for me to utilize whenever you're feeling anxious. And so here are all of my favorite natural remedies for the chronically anxious, aka myself, and I know a lot of you guys. So I hope that this video just acts as a support system for you to add into your toolbox of things that you can grab onto and just utilize when those anxious feelings and energy arises. So first things first, I wanted to share my favorite herbal allies that I lean into whenever I am feeling anxious. And the first herb that comes to mind is saffron. And a lot of you guys have probably heard of saffron for culinary uses. It is this beautiful, vibrant purple flower where you use the orangish red stigma in rice, in different seasoning blends, and you can also use it medicinally to help treat anxiety and depression, actually. It has outcompeted SSRIs in the treatment of depression and anxiety, which is so amazing. This potent little plant is just so powerful at helping support our nervous systems. And I actually had the pleasure of harvesting saffron when I was up at school, and just being in the energy of the plant will just transform your mood. Just the smell and the color and the energy that it fills the environment with is amazing. So saffron is probably my favorite, most potent remedy that I would lean into. Another very potent flower is St. John's wort, and this one has also outcompeted SSRIs in the treatment of anxiety and depression. And it is this beautiful, vibrant yellow flower that looks like the sun, and you can actually just make tinctures out of it or powder it and take capsules of it and just utilize the herb to help support anxiety. I really love St. John's wort for that reason. And another really beautiful flower that I love to use for anxiety is passion flower, and this one I would take at nighttime because it's really soothing to racing thoughts that keep you up at night. It's more sedating than the other two, and so taking it at night can be really beneficial for just allowing your body to calm down and communicating that it is time to rest. And whether you need that midday or you need that at night, it is sedating. So I would just like kind of utilize it in a calming and relaxing environment. Another really great herb in that way is California poppy. And as you can see, most of these are flowers, and flowers are really great at calming the nervous system. So California poppy is really great for sleep and just calming the nervous system whenever you have that like sad anxiety where you just feel like you need an uplift and also to like disperse energy. I really love California poppy. Another great flower that most of us are familiar with is chamomile. Chamomile is another great one to help us sleep. Most of us have sipped on chamomile tea before bed, and it is this really beautiful, fragrant flower that is really great at calming the body. Another great herb that isn't necessarily a flower, but it has little flowers on it, is holy basil. I love holy basil because it's an adaptogen, which means it helps our bodies respond to stressors. And particularly, it really helps nourish our nervous system and just allows our bodies to respond to stressors that tax the nervous system and make us anxious. So I really love holy basil for that reason. Some other great herbs that I wanted to highlight are kava. Kava is really great at sedating the body as well and just calming us and just giving us this overall feeling of ease. So kava is a great one for that. And I also really love skullcap because skullcap is really great at alleviating tension in the body and just calming the body overall. It's a great nervine. And another great nervine on that note is vervain. I love vervain, specifically blue vervain, for alleviating anxiety and tension in the body. Finally, another herb that I love is lemon balm. It's really great at dispersing energy in the body and alleviating any anxiety. Okay, next on the topic of food and nourishment, I really wanted to touch on foods that I love to use to help calm my body. And one thing that I really wanted to highlight is that we should all make sure we're eating enough, because if we're not eating enough, it communicates to our body that we are in a state of deficiency and we need to go in fight or flight to find food. And so we want to communicate to our bodies that they're safe and taken care of by giving them adequate nourishment. And so make sure that you're eating enough, and make sure that you're eating enough of the right things. Make sure that you're eating a lot of protein, because protein is the building block for neurotransmitters and hormones. So you want to make sure you're getting around 30 grams of protein at every single meal and around 15 maybe at snacks, just to boost your body and give it all of those building blocks that it needs. And then Another note there is to eat color and lots of it and lots of fiber, because that fiber is going to feed our gut microbes, and those gut microbes are going to eat the fiber and create neurotransmitters and short-chain fatty acids that are going to nourish our nervous systems. And then I would also make sure that you're getting in lots of fats and lots of vitamin E, because those things are going to make sure that we're producing GABA, which is our calm and cool chemical. I also really love to make sure that I'm ingesting L-theanine, and L-theanine is this really beautiful amino acid that is found in matcha and mushrooms that we can ingest to help just calm our body. L-theanine is really great at boosting GABA, which calms our body overall. On that note, you want to be mindful of the types of caffeine that you are ingesting. I find that coffee makes me extra jittery and anxious, but I really do love sipping on green tea or matcha, because those both help to alleviate anxiety while also giving you a boost in energy, which can help alleviate the low mood while also giving you that amino acid known as L-theanine to help calm our bodies down. And I actually have been sipping on these little Magic Mind shots throughout the day because I find that they really help calm my anxiety. They have the L-theanine, they also have saffron, so they feel like this really great mental health elixir that I love to sip on throughout the day. And you can actually use my code EMMAR20 to receive 48% off your first order. So I'm going to link that down in the description if you guys wanted to try that out. So in addition to nourishment through food, you also want to nourish your body through breath, and make sure that you are taking deep belly breaths, because most of us actually breathe wrong. We breathe shallow into our chest, and that communicates to our mind and body that we are in a state of fight or flight and we need to fight and flee, and that we need to pump adrenaline through our body and these stress hormones. But actually we can slow down and remember that at any given moment we have our breath, and we can't breathe into the future and we can't breathe into the past. We can only breathe into the now, and we can use our breath as this anchor into this very moment, and we can just utilize it as a tool to fully drop into the now and expand ourselves and activate our parasympathetic nervous system. So I'm going to share a few of my favorite easy breathwork tools that you can utilize at any given moment in your car, or right before you enter into class, or even in class, or in the bathroom in between classes, or at a stoplight in a car, or before you eat a meal, or any of those things. So these are really simple ones that you can utilize at really any given time. And the first one is simply just to extend your exhale and to breathe into your belly. So one simple way to do this is to make sure that you are breathing into your belly, and maybe you breathe in for a count of 5, and then you breathe out for a count of 7, and you really want to focus on the feeling of your breath rising and then coming out of your mouth and releasing that heat. So we can do it together. One of my favorite things to do is just to count to 5 while I breathe in, and then count to 7 as I breathe out. So ready? So let's breathe in for a count of 5 and then out for a count of 7. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just like that, you can feel that maybe you are seeing the world a little bit clearer, you feel a little bit more level-headed, you feel less stressed out. Really, really powerful. And then maybe you do that for a couple rounds until you really feel nourished. And another really simple way is to activate the right and left sides of your brain by doing alternate nostril breathing with that same technique. And so you would breathe in for a count of 5 on one side and close off one nostril. And then you would close off that nostril, open up the opposite one, and breathe out for a count of 7. Then you would breathe in for 5, close off, open, breathe out for 7. And you do that for a round of maybe 10, maybe 20 times, and just really feel as it activates the right and left side of your brain, and that in turn activates your parasympathetic nervous system, and then you feel calmer afterwards. So those are 2 of my favorite breathwork tools to use, and so maybe you guys can write those down or just jot them on a piece of paper or put them as your screensaver and have them as a reminder. Another really great anchor is to utilize your senses and to feel into your sensual body rather than your thinking mind. And so one great tool is to focus on the things that you can see, feel, taste, touch, and hear. And at any given moment, you can look around and just really tap into one sensual experience. Like, what am I seeing? How many different shades of red can I see? Maybe how many different shades of orange can I see? How many different shades of green, etc., etc. And just really pay attention. Maybe you want to pay attention to how many different rectangular shapes there are, or maybe how many different shades of brown, or how many different types of trees if you're outside, any of those sorts of things. Or even like looking up at the clouds and thinking about how many different shapes are in the sky right now. And so that's using sight, and then you can also use sound, and you can really break down the different things that you can hear. And this one's my favorite one to use because you can really break it down and like hear things that you never noticed before. So I can hear the birds chirping outside. I can hear the fridge humming. I can hear my own breath. I can hear the wind. And beneath it all, I can hear this underlying silence, this underlying frequency of buzzing silence. And you can really tap into that sensory experience. So that's really calming to do. And so I wanted to offer that to you guys as well at any given moment. Tap into your body. Remember that you're here and you are a feeling body. You're grounded. You are on this earth. You are not up here spinning around just like frantic. So that's another offering that I wanted to give to you guys. Another tool that I really love to use is tapping into the frequency of gratitude. And one way to do that is to meditate on what you are grateful for and just express gratitude for all of the different things you're grateful for in your life. You can jot those down in a journal and just really express the love that you feel for them and how grateful you feel for having nourishing food, or for having a healthy body to carry you through this life, or for having friends and family that love you, or for having a beautiful blue sky overhead, or the sun that warms you, or the moon that reminds you that it's okay to be cyclical, and all of those sorts of things. So there's always something to be grateful for. You can always break it down and find something. So that is a really powerful tool as well. And when you tap into the frequency of gratitude, you are tapping into this frequency of a higher elevated emotion than grief or sadness or worry or fear. And it can really help you switch out of those feelings. And so on that note, another great tool to do is journal. Just brain dump. Get everything out of your mind and onto a piece of paper and allow it to just center your thoughts and just alleviate whatever chaos is happening up there, because I promise you that there is a frequency of stillness to tap into underneath all of it, because our baseline state is to simply be here and now and not to be worrying about the future or ruminating on the past. And then of course, getting outside and connecting with nature. Nature has so many grounding energies for us to tap into, from the ion-rich soil that donates negative ions to our body to actually alleviate anxiety as we touch our bare skin to the soil or hug a tree or those sorts of things, to diving into fresh water that can just refresh our bodies, or being around trees that literally emit chemicals that alleviate anxiety and stress and ignite this healing cascade of responses in the body. So going outside, feeling the sun against our skin, which is actually giving us vitamin D, which is a precursor for neurotransmitters like GABA. So there are so many different things we can talk about that are going to heal us by being out in nature, but simply just being out there and remembering that we are a part of it all. We are not alone in this, and that we are so small yet so grand and just connected to everything. And so that is what I'm going to leave you with. I hope that this video inspired you to slow down and take care of yourself, and know that your mental health is so important. It is a fundamental aspect of our health. So take care of yourself, take a mental health day when you need, and remember that we are a part of something so much greater than what we know. And remember that you are never alone. You can always go out and connect with nature and connect with me on here and all of the friends that we have accumulated. And on that note, I will continue to be putting out content on natural remedies to support our beautiful cyclical bodies. And if you feel called to follow along on this journey, definitely subscribe, and I will see you guys in a video soon. Bye!